Previously in round sailing, we started preparing the boat for our sail to Hawaii. But we did have time for a break, and we went inland to explore the rainforest in Costa Rica, with hot rivers, volcanoes and waterfalls. The world's biggest ketch had arrived to the marina, and it was quite the sight, being 282 feet or 86 meters long, and the masts were 91 meters tall. The sailboat is called Aquillo and owned by a Norwegian, and it had sailed straight from Chile after rounding the Cape Horn and sailing in Patagonia. Speaking of masts, Johan went up in our mast to do some maintenance. He looked for any damage on the wire strands, chafe on the halyards, and the overall condition of the mast. Everything looked fine, and all he did was to polish off some rust stains. Just finished at the Do It store. We bought some stuff for the boat. We're gonna clean the hulls. We bought a new scraper, and today we're on a little road trip. We had the car for the day, and now we're heading south along the coast. We're going to a place called Tamarindo. It's a touristy village with a big beach, and we're gonna visit some family friends of mine. So it's my dad's fiance's uncle and his wife. They are staying here in Costa Rica for some time, traveling. So we'll go and visit them today, and maybe visit some other beaches on the way. The beach Conchal, Shell Beach, lies north of Tamarindo, and it has gotten its name because the entire beach is full of shells. You fell in the tourist trap.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
We spent a nice day with my family friends that I hadn't met in many years. They showed us Tamarindo and their pretty bungalow called Casa Sueca, the Swedish house. Inte riktigt knogen. Mango. Smells like it's not ripe yet. In a couple of days.
So two of the battens in the mainsail are cracked in the front, and it makes a really annoying sound when you're when the sail is moving in the wind. It's these glass fiber battens, and the two top ones are cracked in the middle. And I can't find any spare ones here, so I will just take them off and turn them around so the cracked end will be in the back instead. So I will have a good fitting again in these batten brackets that attaches to the sliders. I don't know if you can see this, but they're cracked here. It makes a pretty annoying sound. And so I will just move them around and put the end part in the front instead. So we'll just put this end in the front instead. If I can get this off. One batten done. Wasn't too hard. Took maybe 5 minutes. So we're done with the mainsail. Actually, I want to have a new mainsail. Since we changed the rig of the mast before we left Sweden, this mainsail is actually 1 meter too short, because the old mast was a masthead rig, and the new mast is what do you call a fractional rig? Not really, it's a 9/10 fractional rig. So it's a bit more modern. So we had to choose between making a smaller head sail and keep the mainsail as it is. But we choose, because the sails were pretty new, we didn't have the money to buy new sails, so we choose to keep the head sail as it was. And so the mast is actually 1 meter taller than it used to be. And the effect of that is that the P measurement on the mainsail is 1 meter too short. So when we have the money in the future, we will get a new mainsail that is 1 meter taller, and we will probably shorten the boom a bit, maybe 75 centimeters, 2 feet or 2.5 feet, to move the pressure center a bit forward. But that will probably take a while. A new mainsail is expensive, and this one isn't bad. It's from 2012, so it still has a lot of miles in it. This is pretty crazy. Malin, she went to bed before me. And after a couple of minutes she woke up and she was screaming So I just thought she had a bad dream or something. She was screaming, "Oh, somebody walked on me. There was an animal in here. And I was like, okay, is it a snake? What is it?" It's probably nothing. She's probably just dreaming. So, but I checked. I went through the bed. I checked the whole bed, in the foot end of the bed. Checked everything. There's nothing. So I was like, yeah, but you were probably just in that region of sleep when you're between being awake and asleep. So we went to bed again. And now maybe, I don't know, been sleeping for an hour or so.
Now it's 4.
Yeah, a couple of hours.
4 a.m.
Malin, she was screaming. I was like, and now I saw it too. Like a shadow running over Malin. And Malin crawled out of the bed. And I turned on the light. And it's and it's like a type of rodent. And it's this big. It's this big. I mean, with the tail.
It's enormous. It's like it's not a rat. I mean, the body is like a rat, but it's a bit more cute than a rat. And it's this big. And it was sitting on the bed, walking around, you know, like finding a place to escape. And unfortunately, the hatch to the steering quadrant and that stuff in the back is a bit open. So it climbed in there. I don't know where it is. And the problem is that from back there, it can go under the diesel tank, and there's a lot of places. And we're sailing to Hawaii in 3 days. So we really need to get this animal off the boat before we leave, because it's, it's like having a small cat on the boat.
And he's just trying to escape, poor thing.
Yeah. I just wonder how it got on the boat. It must have, been in the water and climbed up in the boat, and I wonder how long it's been here. So the plan now is to take a pretty thick towel, put on some gloves, and try to corner it, throw the towel over it, and grab it, run with it up to the jungle up here. What a night.
To feel a wild animal walking on your body when you're asleep is something I've always been dreading to experience. It's almost 4:30 a.m. and we are trying to capture an animal. Luckily, it wasn't a vicious animal, but a cute Derby's woolly opossum.
Han är så liten.
Ja, håll han här. Håll han så. Åh, stackare.
Kom mamma där.
Åh, men gud. Oj.
Nu går vi på bryggan. Oh, he's afraid. We should walk up to him.
From now on we will close. Keep the catches closed. Ahora sí, mira.
In the bed.
En la cama.
En la cama.
¿Qué se llama
Muy
este?
pocos son amigables. Ellos le huyen a la gente, me extraña. Puede ser que esté enfermo o porque ellos huyen de la gente.
Okay.
What a night. I'm just so glad that I got hold of it, And if it would have been a snake, I'm glad it was a cute little animal, not something vicious.
I was afraid.
Yeah, I was really afraid.
So, lesson learned is always listen to Malin. Malin is always right.
Yes. But sometimes you have bad dreams too, and I thought it was just dreaming.
Well, I felt it 3 times. 3 times, and you were just, no, you're just dreaming.
Yeah. Yeah, but the last time I didn't think you were dreaming, because I just saw there was, like a shadow on the wall, and the shadow was like enormous. It was moving. I was like, shit, it's a really big animal. But yeah.
Let's change the sheets and go to bed.
Yeah. How long time did it take? Like
an hour.
An hour, yeah. Not too bad.
No.
Yeah, let's go to bed.
Today it's time to clean the hull again. The hull is really dirty at the moment. And I'm quite excited because I'm going to do it with this hookah system that we have borrowed from a neighboring boat here in the marina. So hopefully that will make it a lot easier and faster, because yeah, the hull is really dirty now. And we're not very happy with the way the paint has performed. As you might remember, we decided to not use tin-based paint on the boat because it's not very environment friendly and it's not very cheap. So we went with a paint called Pacifica Plus, and the reason for that is because it's an aluminium boat and you don't want to use a copper-based paint on that, because it will react with these similar metals. But yeah, not very good. And really the problem is that this paint is really soft, which means that when you clean it, you clean away the paint. So I guess the next time we put on anti-fouling, we'll try to find a harder paint, so you can clean the hull without cleaning away the paint. Let's try it out. This is how it looks. Compressor, tank, hose with a normal diving regulator. And it's run on 12 volts, so you just hook this up directly to your batteries. And in our case, because we're on the dock, and this is they don't have 220 volts on the dock, only 110, we will have to run our Honda generator when we're doing this, because they couldn't provide 220 to our boat. So. And it takes quite a lot of amps, so we need to have the charger running while we're using it, otherwise we just drain the batteries totally. Yeah, even with this hookah system, it's a lot of work. It's crazy amount of barnacles on the keel, but I cleaned that off now. It makes such a big difference doing it with this hookah system, really. Maybe I have half of the hull left, so I guess it will take me another 45 minutes or something like that to get it spotless. So I think this will make a big difference on the speed, really. We'll sail to Hawaii. It seems like a really good system, this. I mean, I think it's like $1,100, and if you can, really easy clean the whole hull, you don't really need a good anti-fouling, because eventually you will get growth on all anti-foulings, and so this really makes sense, because I think we paid $900 just for the anti-fouling, really bad anti-fouling. For this, $200 more, we could have had this system. So, kind of makes sense. Yeah, better get back to it. So much help. I don't think I could have done it without it. There was so much. The whole keel was like this thick with barnacles. 3 hours of cleaning the hull with this hookah.
Lunch?
Yeah, lunch.
I had lunch for you. The day before departure, we went to check out from the country. And first stop was the airport to visit customs.
Was the immigration, so we got our passport stamped, and
before that we had to stand in line in the bank to pay this $20 fee, and we had to wait in line for I think 45 minutes. Yeah. It took forever.
So for the second time today we're going back to the Capitania to get our sarpe for Hawaii. And after that I think we're ready.
On our way back, we did the final grocery shopping, and we were now ready to set sail. Thank you for watching, and we hope you stay tuned for next week's episode as we set off for the 4,100 nautical mile sail to Hawaii. Please subscribe to our channel, and we'd very much appreciate a thumbs up. Thank you, and see you next week.